it. Something that might leave you asking some questions, though, is the number of new vape stores and barbers that have been popping up all over your high street. In fact, the average number of male grooming spots per person in England and Wales has doubled in the last decade.
But not every shop front tells the full story. Some of these businesses are being used as covers for illegal activity, as former detective Rebecca Mason investigates.
High turnover, a low footfall, that's a suspicion.
It's part of practically every criminal activity that you can think of.
Stay still! There's not enough custom for all of them to make money.
In March, police forces across England raided a host of high street shops. The likes of nail bars, barbers and vape shops were among the targets. Most of these types of businesses are legitimate, but some are fronts for criminal gangs, trying to conceal the origins of illicit cash. In other words, money laundering. These raids led police to freeze £1 million in suspect bank accounts. But the crackdown on the high street continues. One of the forces involved is West Mercia Police. Today, they have agreed to let me join them as they follow up on intelligence gathered during the operation. Detective Inspector Dan Fenn is a member of West Mercia's economic crime team. He's leading the operation against today's target, a barbershop. Can you explain how it works with these barbershops being the front for laundering?
You've got those that are literally just fronts, they're never open, they're kitted out to be barbershops, but they just don't have any custom at all. And then you've got the kind of the middle of the road where they do operate as barbershops, but their turnover far outweighs their footfall, and therefore they're laundering illicit gains through exploitation or drugs, etc.
So it's sort of that washing that money through, isn't it? They make it illegitimately, put it through a business to make it look, and then that's how they wash that money through.
Yeah, exactly that, yeah.
And the DI's clear about the effect this criminal activity has on our communities.
It is taking up the space for legitimate businesses to run and to provide money into the economy. And what we found, some of them are selling drugs from the barbershops, so it's the front-end criminality, but also it's the long-term damage it's having on our communities.
After briefing in the team,
so today is an operation to target illicit barbershops. Again, we're going after a barbershop that we've already targeted in March.
The police hit the streets and the shop.
Police! Stay where you are!
So at the moment, they've detained 2 people that have worked here. The dog is currently going round looking for cash or any illegal substances. So whilst the dog is working in there, they've detained the 2 people that are working there, and I think they're just trying to ascertain who they are, if they're either of the people they are looking for, and then the search will commence to see what other things they can find inside it. The team have established a connection between the owners of the barbershop and a phone shop close by. And it's here they found what they suspect are illegal vapes.
All of these are illicit based on their packaging, based on the volumes of nicotine in them, based on where it's stored, how it's designed. All of that is illegal in this country. So why have you got those under your counter?
Yeah. So all of this is just gathering your evidence, isn't it, really? Yep.
So that will be seized today under the powers of trading standards. Trading standards will take them and destroy them.
The National Crime Agency, or NCA, has been leading the authorities' fight on the ground against the criminal use of high street shop fronts. But behind the scenes, technology is being used to identify businesses which arouse suspicion. Dr. Janet Bastiman is chief data scientist for a company which uses AI technology to detect strange patterns of banking behaviour.
So my team and I develop a series of algorithms, so machine learning, artificial intelligence, and we're looking at millions of transactions that don't look right. So, for example, if you had a lot of barbershops in an area that were all turning over approximately the same amount, and then you had one that was maybe 5-10 times more weekly, that would be a cause for investigation.
Janet says when cash-only businesses like barbers and nail bars are exploited for money laundering, it happens in 3 distinct steps: placement, layering and extraction.
So money laundering is the process of making illicit criminal funds look legitimate. And typically this happens in 3 phases. So you have placement, where they're getting the funds actually into the system. The next phase is layering, where they try and obscure the source of funds, so you can't tell that it's come originally from a criminal source. And then finally you have an extraction phase where it can then be used in the legitimate economy because you can't tell that it came from that criminal source.
The NCA estimates that £12 billion of criminal cash is laundered in the UK every year, some of it via high street shops.
Sometimes people think that money laundering isn't really a big deal, but this money is going into the hands of criminals who might then use it for terrorist financing, bankrolling further scams and frauds, or anything where they might need money in order to perpetuate their crimes.
Back on the raid, although no arrests were made, the team found hidden safes concealed by paintings and banking receipts showing recent deposits of £10,000.
So how has it gone for you guys today?
Good. We've now established a new bank account we didn't know about.
Yep.
Illegal vapes and another shop which just strengthens our intelligence to suggest they are running as the same business.
Yeah.
And actually adds more suspicion around that £10,000 that we will freeze today.
So it sounds like quite a good response today.
Yeah, we just ask the community to continue to feed that intelligence into us via Crime Stoppers or 101 so that justice is served for the community.
Most barbershops are completely legitimate, but some are used by criminals to launder money right under our noses. If you suspect a business isn't as clean-cut as it looks, steer clear and report it.
Yeah, a fascinating insight into the work the West Mercia Police are doing, though.
And it does really make you think. But as Rebecca said, I think it is important to say, I mean, most are legitimate operations. But yeah, you do think about it.
Very true. Lots of Brits will be getting a fresh trim for their summer holidays soon, with millions set to jet off abroad over the next few months. You've got to go a bit shorter when you go on holiday because it goes back.